I'm going to show you how to use a ring sling with a new baby. A ring sling is just any type of ring sling is a wrap that is sewn with rings on it. I already have it threaded through here. First of all, you're going to want to make sure that when you thread it through the rings that you have it fanned out nicely through the rings and it's not all bunched and rolled over each other. So you see here I have this end of the rail is on this side and this end of the rail on the wrap is going through the other side, and it's kind of fanned out nicely in the middle. That makes it a lot easier when you are tightening it, that it doesn't get all bunched up. You're able to tighten it a lot easier. So go ahead and have it wrapped through and have it fanned out. When putting it on, I like to think of it of putting a purse on, whatever opposite shoulder I want to wear it on. So if I want the rings over on this side, then I'm going to put it on my shoulder like a purse and then just put it over my head. You're going to want to go ahead and grab the top of the rail of the wrap and the bottom and pull it out and spread it down. Do this all the way across your back too, so that it's all spread out nicely. I'm going to turn around and I'm just going to spread it out across my back so it's nice and flat. It's not all bunched up. You want to start with the rings up on top of your shoulder. If you start with the rings too low, when you go to tighten it, the rings will move down some. So you want to start with the rings up on top of your shoulder so that they're in the right position once you're done and snug. So have it fanned out across your back and your shoulder, rings up on top. Also put them down on your shoulder. You don't want the wrap up here on your neck. That's going to hurt your neck a lot and it's going to really pull on your shoulder. You want to wear it more down off of your neck. Move my hair here so you can see. Off of your neck and down across the top of your shoulder is going to be the most comfortable for you. Also, before you pick up baby, make sure that you don't have too much slack here. Just have enough where you can kind of put your elbow in. I have probably a little bit, not quite enough. Just your elbow, a little bit slack. If you start with it too loose, then you're going to also end up with the rings way down. Too much to be pulling through and tightening. So just make sure that you have it just enough to put baby in. Rings up on the top of your shoulder and all spaced out on your back. Okay, so once you have it ready, I'm going to go ahead and grab the baby and I'll show you how to put him in. Okay, so I've got little baby Colton here. Say hi. Hi, friends. Okay, so you're going to put him up on your baby up on your shoulder. And while hanging onto the baby's butt, you're going to reach up underneath your ring sling through the top, and I like to grab his feet and just guide his feet and his butt down. I grab the top rail and just kind of guide him down all the way through and put the top rail up his butt. You want all of the slack material to be underneath, and you just want enough that it goes just to the ridge of their neck, like that. So you have nice and flat. So with this extra, it's hard when they're really little because they have such little tiny legs, but he already likes to wear his legs out because he no longer is wanting to scrunch in the newborn position. He's already wanting to stretch out. So I'm just going to pull up the wrap as much as I can in between us up towards his belly button to kind of give his legs a nice little M position. I'm going to grab his pacifier. Okay, here we go. There. Just to kind of put his legs in this M position so his butt is nice and low by his feet. And also you want the wrap going from their knee bend to their knee bend. You don't want their legs to be overextended up, but then also you want them to have a nice good seat. You don't want just like them hanging. So have like the wrap from their knee to their knee, put their knees up to their belly so their butt is hanging almost as low as their feet. Okay, so kind of get him in the right position here. Gonna tuck his little arm in. I'm gonna have him to where he is nice and center on me before I start tightening. So put him right on the center of my chest here. Okay, and you want them also, another thing is you want them up high enough where you can easily kiss the top of their head. They can be laying right on your chest. You want them nice and high, don't have them too low. Okay, so from here you have, like I said, not too much slack, but a little bit to pull out. So what I'm going to do is make sure my wrap is where I want it on my shoulder, not up my neck. I'm going to grab the slack from the back and pull the slack around to the rings. That makes it so the rings don't have to go really low. So he's nice and comfy there. Wrap is right up to the ridge of his neck. I've pulled him nice and snug. I'm just gonna hold him snug. I'm gonna hold and I'm gonna take the ring. I'm gonna pull the slack out. And I'm gonna start from the top and pulling the slack. And I'm gonna go all the way through the bottom here, and it's pulling it down towards his butt as I go and grab from here and all the way down. Don't pull too much from the very last rail that goes around down through his legs. If you pull too hard, you're gonna pull his seat out and the wrap out, and also you don't want it too tight on his legs. So just make this last tug on the end just snug so he's nice and up like against you, but don't make this too tight. You don't want it too tight on their legs or up on him, or to pull the seat out. So just gonna check again. I really can't get it too high, but it's between us and it's snug, and he's definitely not gonna go anywhere. A couple other tips is to make sure that their head is above the wrap. Don't let them arch their back. Go ahead and I can straighten him out, and I push him up nice and straight. And if there's slack still in the wrap, go ahead and pull from about the middle and try to grab that out. You want them to be sitting up straight. Don't worry about getting it too tight. It's really harder to get it too tight on them than it is to have it too loose. So you don't want them to be slouching. If they're slouching down in the wrap, they can get down inside. It can compromise their airway. You want them to be sitting up nice and straight and snug against you. So there's still some slack here a little bit. So I'm gonna pull that across and try to pull that out. This is a new wrap, so it's nice and snug, nice and tight. Okay, so he's nice and comfy in there. He's on my center. You can kind of see how he is in the wrap. Nice and snug. He's not making any grunting sounds because his chin is off of his chest. You don't want their chin going down into their chest. But if you have them nice and snug, their head will naturally stay in that position. If you end up with extra wrap up at the top here, see it's kind of taller than his head, you can just either fold it down like that, or another thing you can do, I'll actually pull a little bit up here so I can show you. Pull a little bit out. Make sure his seat stays in. Okay, so what you can do with little babies, and also gives them better head support, is I'm gonna let a little bit of slack out here. Whoop, not too much. And you can take your ring sling tail and go ahead and twist it up like this and put it right there, and you can twist it underneath that extra slack right at their neckline and just kind of roll it down all the way around. That takes care of your tail for you if you want it out of the way. It also provides just a nice little pillow and head support for them so that his head is so nicely supported. I'm going to try to pull this down a little bit. So your rings, ideally, you would like them to end up, mine are actually a little bit high, but you actually kind of want them to end up right about here, right on your chest, right below your shoulder bone is where you want them so that they'll be comfortable for you. Mine are slightly high. So if I move him down, he's not really where he needs to be anymore on my center, but he's still good. He's over to my side a little bit. So just a minute. Okay, Mom's doing a video. So that's kind of, he's nice and good in there. Nice and snug. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can nurse in a wrap. It is okay to lay them down to nurse them. You just need to make sure that when you are finished nursing that they sit back upright. You don't ever want to leave them laying in a cradle position because it could compromise their airway, especially when they're sleeping and you're not watching them, helping them nurse. Okay, so if you want to nurse, go ahead and undo that. Here, just 1 second here. Okay, if you are wanting to take them out or lay them down to nurse, what you're going to do is you're going to grab your rings right here. And you're going to lift the top ring up a little bit, and it's just going to loosen the wrap for you. You don't want to loosen it too much. Just enough to be able to pull them out or to lay them down to nurse. So I'm just going to loosen it just slightly. And you're going to go ahead and reach in and grab their butt and their legs. And I'm going to lay him in a cradle position in my arm. And the bottom of the wrap, bring up between both of us. So let me move that so you can see. So wraps between both of us. Little legs hanging out the back there. He's in a nice cradle position, head always out. You never want to put their head inside like this. Sometimes I will for a second if I need to get my breast out. I can for a second, but when you're nursing or when they're laying, you want to keep them out. So go ahead and put them at the right level that you need, get them latched on. And if you feel like you want to tighten it snug against you once they're latched, you go ahead and just like pull a little bit up, more up. And it doesn't give you completely hands-free, but it makes them a lot more supported, so you can actually still do things while they're nursing. You can walk around easier if you're out in public. I love nursing like this on the go because it makes it so much easier. And your tail makes a nice little nursing cover. You can't even see. So once they're done nursing, you want to go ahead and reach in. Again, let me put these out here. Again, from the butts, grab their butt from the inside and their head, put them back up to the center of your chest where you need to position them, and then reposition them. Make your seats. And like I said, if there's not too much slack out, then you can easily tighten baby back up where they need to be once they're done nursing. Okay, so that's how to do. If you are wrapping a tiny newborn who still likes to be in that curled up froggy position and they want their feet up, I'll show you how to put their feet. Let me see. Colton doesn't really like to be in that position anymore, but I can probably, as he's sleeping, get him to stay. Let's see. Go ahead and pull him out. Okay. So the froggy position on a newborn. Here, baby. It's like, Mom. Okay, you're almost going to put their feet together and then up to their belly. Ooh, let's see if I can do. Okay, like this. So that when they're in the sling, they're sitting with their weight on their butt. Their knees are out to their side. And sense like this. Maybe you've seen it in like a newborn pictures, how they lay them on their belly with their legs up like that. That's the froggy position. So their feet are on their belly, near their belly button together, and their knees are out to the side. So you can lay baby like that, put them up against you. He's probably not gonna stay. He's not gonna stay. But then you would slide baby in like that. If I can probably put his feet, grab them, put them back up there. There we go. Okay, and then pull the wrap up in between you and baby. And when he lays back down here, it's slightly harder than putting their feet out. If they are okay with their feet out, do their feet out. It makes it slightly easier. But if they're not, you can put them like that or in any other type of wrap like that. So snug him up. His little feet are up by his chest. He is sitting weight on his butt. His knees are out here. You can almost kind of see, let's see here, his little butt, his knees, and his feet are up there in between, on his belly, in between him and I. And the wrap in this position, when they're really tiny and you feel like you can't really get a good seat with their legs out, this is a really good way to do it because the wrap right now up in between us is right there. So they're like in a little pocket. He's not going anywhere. It's nice and high up and it puts all that slack somewhere. And he's grunting like, Mom, what are we doing? Maybe he still likes it. I don't know. He seems comfy and happy. So, okay, so that's how you use a ring sling. I hope that helped some of you who were asking questions. And I think that he'll just sleep here for a little while. He's nice and comfy.